Hey guys, it's Jeff from Detrailers. Just completed a skid. This will be a van mount skid, and I'm sure you've seen our other videos. Every time I complete one of these, I say it's the last one just because they're a lot of work. It's getting to the point now where there's so much labor in these, they're probably going to end up costing more than our trailer system. Just because the fab, this skid was a lot of fabrication. It was made, the deck was made to pretty close to the dimensions of the van it's going in, but then I fabbed this rack so that we could have the triple hose reels. One's air compressor, that's a fill hose reel, that's a pressure wash hose reel. We did electric start on both the pressure washer and the generator. Getting the generator electric start was really tough. It took us quite a while because we actually had to have the engine converted to do electric start. We can get the engine's pull start to power the generator head, but this customer wanted electric start, and either you can get the engine that has the right shaft to run our generator head, but it's not electric start, and you can get electric start motors in this size, but it's not the right shaft to the generator head. So I'm really hoping they don't stop making this engine. Honda stopped with their version, and so did Kohler, and this is really the only one left with the configuration to power our gen. So hopefully they keep making it, or I maybe just need to buy every one I can find. It's really hard to get that amount of watts. This is going to be about 5,500 watts. And, you know, if it was a trailer setup, we've got a lot more space to work with. We can do a lot bigger gen. But this, you know, if you look at a 5,500 watt gen, they're just huge. There's no way we could get it on a truck mount setup like this and get the amount of wattage that we need, because our compressor system, this is a dual piston compressor, so it has enough cubic feet per minute to run the Toreador if you're going to be using one of those. Every other compressor that we've dealt with in this size, they're single piston, and they just don't keep up with the Toreador. And the problem with compressors, a lot of people don't realize, is they take a ton of amps at startup. They almost double whatever they're rated at. So that's why we had to have such a big gen to run this. It probably, I'll bet that thing when it starts up probably pulls, I don't know, 25 amps, 25 amps. So anyway, that's why we have to have this setup. If you're not running a Toreador, you don't care about those, you do a smaller gen, you can do a smaller compressor, no big deal. So anyway, this one is going up to Kentucky. Customer's going to be putting it in a 2500 series van. It's a 200-gallon setup. Tried to get it as compact as possible so that they have some space left over. They really should have roughly, I would say, probably another 2 feet of floor space. I tried to keep this area open here for storage. Probably going to have another couple of feet of floor space to carry other things. But again, with any truck mount system, space is a premium, or van mount system, space is a premium. So when I was designing this out, you know, I gotta try and make sure I get everything on there and make sure everything functions correctly and there's enough space for it. That's why we've got this reel set up. I had originally planned to do 3 reels across the back, and I was going to have a bigger hose reel that was hand crank that held 100 feet of hose, but my concern was not having the van here to work it out. I just didn't know if it would be too wide, because a van, you know, they come up and they start tapering right here, and you got to make sure that you've got enough space to crank these without hitting your arm on the side of the van or whatnot. So that's kind of why this configuration is like it is. I did a self-rewind on the bottom. It's 50 feet on the self-rewind, and I gave him 50 feet on quick connects, so he still has 100 feet of reach on his air hose. It's just not all on one reel. So anyway, I really haven't seen any other company that makes them like this, custom. I think we're one of the only ones that does stuff like that. So if you need one of these, you can contact me directly, or you can go on the site. That's our toll-free. And that's our old web address. That site is still live, but our newer one is detrailers.net. If you have any questions, just give me a call. Take care.